What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I'm your host. I'm trying to get this mic right. Hope you guys doing well. It's been a busy week for me. I know it's been a busy week for everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to join the tribe, you can text me 312-847-2739, or you can go to bardostribe.com and get your free copy of Guide to the New Big Ten. It's free guide, gives you pertinent information on all the different programs and some historical information that I think you guys will find useful as well. So two ways to join. Text me 312-847-2739 or go to Bardo's Tribe, Bardo with the S tribe.com to get your free copy of Guide to the New Big Ten. Gotta do a recording this week. I'll be traveling during the time that I normally do the live show. So if you have any questions, hit me up. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. I don't know who the Big Ten Player of the Week is going to be yet because I'm taping this before the announcement comes out. So I'm leaving that blank. But if Dylan Harper doesn't get the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, it's going to be a problem. Harper did a fantastic job in their two victories over Penn State and then over Seton Hall. Dylan Harper hit a three at the buzzer, similar to what his older brother Ron Jr. did to beat Purdue. Number one, obviously Seton Hall wasn't number one, but it was a big, big game. Bragging rights for the state of New Jersey. And Dylan Harper steps up and bangs a three. Incredible game, a very hotly contested back and forth interstate rival. And Dylan Harper showed that he's one of the best players in college basketball with that game winner. So that's who I have as the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Who's balling right now? I'd say the Illini are balling with wins over Wisconsin and then a narrow loss to number one Tennessee. They had as many chances as Tennessee to win that game. If you were to tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that Illinois would have a chance to beat the number one team in the country in mid-December with this new roster, I would have taken it all day long. It's interesting how I like to wait until after the fact. I don't like to react right afterwards because people are emotional. And some of the things I saw being said, some of the things in chats that I'm involved in, I was a little surprised. I don't know if people understand how good this Illinois team could be. Think about it, guys. This is mid-December. We're not in January yet. We haven't even gotten through the non-conference slate. And they've already played Alabama, lost. They played Arkansas, won. They've beaten Wisconsin. They lost to Northwestern, which I think they might have grown as much in that loss as they have any game this season. But you lose to a veteran Northwestern team on the road in overtime. And then you come back and lose to Tennessee. You really do a good job of guarding Chaz Lanier, Tennessee's leading scorer. He fouled out with 3 minutes left. He shot 5 of 17 from the field. Zakai Ziegler, the other backcourt mate. These guys are old, veteran. He went 1 of 5, fouled out. Right? So defensively, the Illini were spectacular. Lanier's one of the best scorers in the country. He had 17, but he took 17 shots to get it. Zakai Ziegler, 1 of 5, rendered, pretty much, if they don't have Jordan Gainey, comes out with a career high 23, Tennessee doesn't win that game. So I think the Illini are balling. I'm going to speak a little bit more in depth on that as I get in further into this recording. Rutgers with wins over Penn State and Seton Hall, starting to round into shape. I think Steve Pikiell's starting to get across to Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey how hard they have to play each and every game because they're going to get everybody's best shot because of those two players. And to get that through to the freshmen and have them respond in the way that they did in these last couple games at home shows growth. And so I think that they're balling. UCLA, they beat Arizona, which Arizona's struggling a little bit, but then they beat Oregon last weekend in Oregon. So UCLA, I believe, let me not guess. Let me make sure, but I think, guys, I think UCLA has won like 9 or 10 in a row here. Let me Let me double check. Hold on. Where in the heck is UCLA? Give me a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, UCLA, since losing to New Mexico 72-64, they've ripped off 2, 4, 6. They've won 8 in a row. They'll have Prairie View later this week, and then they match up with North Carolina over the weekend. So I really like what UCLA is doing. I like the way that they're coming together. They're playing a defensive-oriented style of basketball. They've got enough guys in Sky Clark, Dylan Andrews, Sebastian Mack, Eric from Oklahoma State. I really like his game. Tyler Bilodeau. UCLA looks really, really good, and if they can maintain this defensive intensity, and because that travels, I think they're doing quite well. Who's struggling right now? Ohio State got blasted by Auburn, 91-53. The kind of the concerning thing for Ohio State, I have them tomorrow on Peacock versus Valpo. One of the concerning things about Ohio State is that Aaron Bradshaw was out. He's back with the team now, but he was out for I think it was 3 games, and he was a part of a very thin front line that Ohio State has. And so, no shame in losing to Auburn, who I still think is the best team in the country, even though Tennessee's ranked number 1. No shame in losing to Auburn, but just to get blasted like that. They got blasted at Maryland. It's almost like the wheels come off and they can't seem to right the ship and stay competitive. Scores like this are a little disturbing. So I'd say who's struggling right now? I'd say Ohio State is struggling. I'd also say Purdue is struggling, having lost 2 of their last 3. Over the weekend, they lost to a very good Texas A&M team in Indianapolis. So it wasn't on their home floor, but kind of a semi-home situation. And Texas A&M comes from behind to win that game. Wade Taylor IV was outstanding, and so is Pharrell Payne up front, former Minnesota Gopher. Purdue's dropped 2 of their last 3, and I think Purdue has to go. Purdue has to go to Birmingham and play Auburn next. So a gauntlet of a non-conference slate for Purdue. Let's see if they can right the ship. It's going to be awfully difficult though against Auburn, basically in their backyard in Birmingham. All right, games to watch. Oklahoma versus Michigan. That ought to be an interesting matchup. Oklahoma, one of the remaining undefeated teams in the country, led by Jeremiah Fears. I'm really going to be interested in seeing how that game shakes out. I was kind of surprised that Arkansas was able to beat Michigan by 2 points. The way that Arkansas looked against Illinois, I didn't think that they would be able to match up with Michigan's front line. But obviously their athleticism, Arkansas's athleticism, Boogie Flan getting in the open court, Deuce Thero getting in the open court proved to be problems for the Wolverines. So Wolverines have a chance to bounce back against Oklahoma. Then that Saturday is a crowded slate. There's a bunch of games in the conference. UCLA plays North Carolina. I believe that's in New York. Purdue at Auburn. That's in Birmingham. Ohio State at Kentucky. Let me make sure. I don't need to be guessing here. Ohio State versus Kentucky in Madison Square Garden. So UCLA, North Carolina, Ohio State, Kentucky are both in Madison Square Garden. Other games on that slate. Oregon at Stanford. That's in San Jose. That could be an interesting game. Utah at Iowa at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. That'll be a big game for Iowa. They need a victory, having dropped the game against Iowa State at home. It'd be a good resume builder for them. DePaul Northwestern will be an interesting matchup. You saw Northwestern, they beat Georgia Tech yesterday. They also beat Illinois. They're playing better. DePaul's a much improved team under Chris Holtman. They don't really have one player. Isaiah Rivera is their leading scorer. Jacob Meyer, one of their leading scorers. But they do it by committee. They share the basketball. They shoot the threes very well. You guys remember C.J. Gunn from Indiana. I believe he had a career high 22 in their win against Wichita State over the weekend. So that's going to be an interesting game as well. DePaul Northwestern. Busy slate on Saturday, and then Sunday, the border war, Illinois versus Missouri in St. Louis. That'll be an interesting matchup. But I like this Illinois team. And let me get to that a little bit. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this State of the Illini program, Brad's post-game comments, and Rickhouse and his minutes. So I was really surprised to hear some of the feedback from alums, fans, former players about the ending of games between Northwestern and in particular Northwestern and Tennessee. I don't understand. Maybe it's the NIL, maybe it's transfer portal era. I'm not sure, but I think college basketball fans' expectations have changed, and they've changed greatly, in my opinion. I'm not sure what happened to having a little bit of patience for a program that has the fewest returning minutes in the Big Ten. That's Illinois. And yet, if you were to tell me I've got the fewest returning minutes in the Big Ten, yeah, I brought some ballers in. There's no doubt about that. Kasparas Yakoshionis was not a true freshman coming in. He's got EuroLeague experience. Tomislav Ivicic, he's not a true freshman, but they're new to college basketball. So the first year players, well, Ivicic, based on an NCAA situation, he's classified as a sophomore. But these two guys in particular are first-time college basketball players. And I don't care how good you are, it takes a bit of time to get adjusted at this level. So when I see Kasparas Yakoshionis with 22 points against Tennessee, I believe that's 5 games in a row he scored 20 points or more. Ivicic was not as effective on the offensive end, but he was a beast on the glass. Let me take a look. Let me pull up that box score again, just to be very clear on what I'm saying here, guys. I don't understand the lack of patience with this Illinois squad. Ivicic only got 5 attempts. He's 1 of 5 from the field, but he had 12 rebounds. Yakoshionis didn't shoot the ball well, 5 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, but he made 10 of 14 free throws. Illinois got to the line 36 times. They were 30 of 36. That's pretty good. That's 83%. In a foul-plagued game that was really foul-plagued in the first half, very little rhythm, I thought the Illini battled. I'd always like to see a little bit more from Trey White. He got up to 11 points, but his rebounding numbers are low. His assist numbers are low. Boswell didn't have one of his better games, but he was 6 of 7 from the free throw line. He has 7 rebounds, a steal, an assist, 2 of 8 from 3. And then Will Riley, 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. Well, he was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. He got 5 rebounds, right? So I don't quite understand this lack of patience with this new Illini club. And the criticism that I'm hearing, I was a little surprised by that. I'm like, guys, do you realize that, throw out the Alabama game, they lost in overtime at Northwestern, and then you lose on a gainy layup as a buzzer goes off to the number 1 team in the country? And I don't understand it. Again, this must be the NIL era and the way that it's changing college basketball fans, because I was ecstatic. As I'm taking my college basketball analyst hat on, I'm putting my former Illini hat on. I was ecstatic. Are you kidding me? In December, you have a chance to beat the number 1 team in the country, and you lose by 2 points? And okay, you can nitpick about them inbounding the ball. Okay, fine. I get it. It's a first. These guys are playing with each other for the first time, guys. These are all new scenarios. These are all new situations. Trust me, when you go up against the number 1 team in the country, whether you're at home or on the road, it's a different scenario, right? It's not the same as any other game. It's highly pressurized, high. It's very intense. Very intense. You guys saw the atmosphere in there. So the fact that they struggle to get the ball in bounds, I'm way less concerned with the fact that they battled. Against Tennessee was the first time that Illinois lost a rebounding battle all season. So that tells you how good Illinois has been on the glass, one of the best rebounding teams in the country with a new group. Guys, you got to look at half full, man. Don't look at half empty. Look at half full. This team, the upside is tremendous. They can collect some hardware, and they're doing it with the numbers that I showed you. Okay, now Brad's post game comments are a little head scratching to me. It's been like the third game where he said he should have done something. Well, I should have played this player, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. Well, do it in the game. And then if you do it in the game, you make a mistake, ride with it. So what? But these post-game, I should have done this, I should have done that. That's it's a head scratcher for me. I don't see other coaches second guessing themselves in post-game press conferences. Now, they may second guess themselves, in their own company or in the company of their coaching staffs, but to second guess yourself to the general public through the media, it's a little. I don't know why he does that. I don't know. There's a number of different reasons I can guess, but I don't know Brad that well personally to kind of gauge why he would make those statements. But I just thought that was a head scratcher to me because I don't see other coaches doing that. I don't see other coaches talking about, well, I should have played Morez Johnson more after the Northwestern game, or I probably should have done this, in this game. I don't know. Maybe it's something that he finds cathartic. I don't know, but that's just a head scratcher to me. Ben Humrickhouse and his minutes. Tribe members have been talking to me for a little bit of time about this, and now I'm understanding what their concerns are, because this last game was a perfect example. Perfect example, guys. Humrickhouse gets 30 minutes. He took 5 shots, which is probably about what he normally takes. He doesn't take many more than that. He's 1 of 4 from 3, which he's supposed to come in and be a lights out shooter, right? So I think Ben's had one game where he's been lights out from the 3. This is not giving me the breakdown I'm looking for. Hold on. Yeah, this is not. Hold on. Okay. So it says he's up to 35% from 3. So I got to go back to these box scores and see, but let me see. Let me take a look. Against Wisconsin, he was 1 of 5. So he was 1 of 4 versus Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So that's 1 of 9. No, that's 2 of 9 for the last 2 games, right? Let's see what he did against Northwestern. 1 of 9. So that's 3 of 18 in the last 3 games for a guy that gets 30 minutes a game. Let's see what he did against Arkansas. I think he shot it better against Arkansas. Yes, 3 of 4. So 3 of 19. 6 of 23 in the last 4 games from 3. And yet he's getting these minutes, right? So if he's supposed to be a 3-point shooter and he's 6 of 23 in his last 4 games, that's a pretty good area to look at, right? 4 games, that's a lot, right? But let's just take the last game against Tennessee. He gets 30 minutes. Will Riley gets 20 minutes. Will Riley is 1 of 9. But what Will Riley does get to the free throw line, which Humrickhouse does not. So Will Riley was 8 of 9 from the free throw line. He got 5 rebounds. Ben had 1. So Ben had 10 more minutes. He made 1 more shot than Will Riley made. He got that really good tip dunk, did Rickhouse. He got that nice tip dunk. Riley had an offensive rebound and 4 defensive rebounds, right? So why is Rickhouse getting all these minutes if his shooting numbers aren't going to be as good as Will Riley's? And I think teams are starting to pick on Rickhouse defensively, similar to what we saw with Luke Goody. So why are the coaching staff, is it NIL money? Because I wasn't going to go here because I needed to see more games before I made a comment on this. But I think there needs to be a change. Rickhouse can come off the bench. If he's only going to get 5 shots a game, he's not going to rebound. He's not defending. He had 1 assist. What's he bringing you? Yeah, they talked about him being a well-conditioned athlete. Hasn't helped on the glass. Hasn't helped defensively. 6'9", I mean, and you're getting 1 rebound in 30 minutes. Yakashionis from the point guard position, although he played 37 minutes, a lot more time. He got 3 rebounds, 2 offensive. Boswell playing 27 minutes, gets 7 rebounds. So I don't know what you all think, but I think I'm starting to understand now why people say Will Riley needs to be starting. Because if Rickhouse is not going to hit threes as he's advertised, there might be an NIL dealer in there or something. I don't know, where he's got to play a certain amount of minutes. I mean, I even saw Adam Fletcher screaming from the bench one time. I believe this was the Wisconsin game. He was screaming to tell Rickhouse to do something defensively to hold his ground because he was getting backed in. You got your strength coach screaming instructions to you on the floor defensively on how to either hold your ground or something. This guy is a veteran. I think I'd rather have Will Riley out there with the 30 minutes screaming instruction to him to get him better, because he's only going to get way better. Rickhouse, I think this is what we're going to get from him. Yes, can he shoot better? Obviously. The numbers suggest that he'll if he's able to stay in the lineup with this many minutes, his career averages suggest that he will shoot the ball better. He has not. It's just what it is, right? Will Riley, I mean, he didn't shoot the ball well the other day, but he's doing other things. He's trying. He's got way more upside than Rickhouse. Now, that's nitpicking. I'm nitpicking right now because, again, guys, I don't understand why people are upset. I mean, look around the Big Ten. Oregon loses at home to UCLA. UCLA goes on and beats Arizona. Purdue has dropped 2 of their last 3, and they have to play Auburn. Ohio State's been blitzed in 2 of their last 3 games. Maryland and Auburn recently. Blitzed, right? Northwestern's playing better, but they lost a heartbreaker on the road for a Josh Dix 3 at the buzzer. So if you look around the conference, guys, understand it. Illinois is sitting as pretty as anybody. Indiana's struggling. They shot 35 threes against Nebraska. That goes totally contrary to what they're doing. So Indiana's trying to figure themselves out. So if you're going to compare, like, look at Indiana with what they brought in. Look at what Illinois brought in. Look where Illinois is poised right now compared to Indiana, compared to some of these different teams. Illinois is in great shape, guys. Not only in the Big Ten, but nationally. I mean, that was a knockdown, drag-out game. Illinois shot 29% from the 3. I mean, I'm sorry, 29% for the game. They shot 4 of 23 from 3, 17%. And they lost the rebounding battle for the first time this season. And they lost the number 1 team by 2 points. Guys, come on now. You have to be. I'm way more excited now about this Illini team than I was before this game. I got more excited about this Illini team after they lost at Northwestern because I saw the fight that they have. The things that they're struggling with right now are just experience. Getting the ball in bounds in a pressurized situation. Knowing what's a good shot down the stretch. Who needs to get the shot? What's the matchup we need to exploit? All those things come from experience. They don't lack for toughness. One of the best rebounding teams in the country. They're defending well. They held Tennessee to 32% from the field, 6 of 24 from 3. They battled on the glass. They didn't get murdered on the glass. They were -5. Guys, I mean, maybe you can nitpick at the turnovers. Yakashionis had 7. You got to live with that. This kid is a pro. He's a lottery pick. You got to live with some of that. But damn, 7 turnovers, that's a lot. That's a lot. He's got to shore that number up. But you've got to give him free reign because the kid is so good, right? So, guys, I don't know. I just think, yes, there could be a couple tweaks to what the Illini are doing. Yes. But my goodness. Maybe it's because I've worked in the business and I understand what I'm looking at. Maybe you guys don't understand what you're looking at. But the criticism and the stuff I heard post Tennessee, it's a little disturbing, guys. You have to tip your hat with what Brad and his staff have done to create this roster, to get them to play the way that they're playing right now. We're not even in Christmas. And so I can't wait to see them play Duke. Can you imagine how good this team is going to be in February? I mean, from what I saw against Tennessee, and look, I know in the tournament, you got the draws important, your seeding is important, all that. But hey, man, listen, this Illinois team can play with anybody in the country. Anybody. Yeah, I know they got blitzed by Alabama. Alabama does that to a lot of teams. Every team in college basketball is going to have at least 3 or 4 games where nothing goes right. So I like the fact that they got blasted by Alabama because you saw what happened when they came back against Arkansas. They put it on Arkansas wire to wire. A young team, guys. Okay? So I just had to get that out there. These are some of my thoughts. I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Again, no live show today because I'm traveling. I got to head to the airport here in a second. I'm going to Columbus. I've got Valparaiso at Ohio State tomorrow on Peacock, and I'd have to scramble to get everything set up and get in the hotel room and hope that Wi-Fi works and do all that. I didn't want to chance it. I just wanted to go ahead and do this video so that you guys can respond throughout the day, and then you can share your questions with me, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. So real quick, let me run through this. Don't know who the player of the week is, but my Big Ten freshman of the week is Dylan Harper. Big time 3 to beat Seton Hall at the buzzer. I think Illinois is balling with the win over Wisconsin, narrow loss to Tennessee, narrow loss on the road in overtime at Northwestern. Rutgers with wins over Penn State and Seton Hall. UCLA with wins over Arizona this past week, and Oregon a little bit ago. These teams are really playing well. Ohio State, I'm a little concerned with. Second game, they've gotten blasted, this time by Auburn. No shade in losing to Auburn, but that score right there is a little concerning based on them being down 52-17 at half at Maryland and losing the way they did at Maryland. Those are a little bit disturbing. And then Purdue, they got out to such a strong start, and now they've dropped 2 of their last 3, and they've got to play Auburn next in Birmingham this weekend. That's going to be tough. Games to watch: Oklahoma versus Michigan, and then a very busy Saturday slate: UCLA versus North Carolina, Purdue basically at Auburn, and Ohio State versus Kentucky. UCLA, North Carolina, Ohio State, Kentucky are in Madison Square Garden. And then Sunday, the annual bragging rights game, the border war between Missouri and Illinois. All right. You guys want to join the tribe, text me 312-847-2739 or go to bardostribe.com and get your free copy to the guide to the new Big Ten. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Shoot me, please like, share, and comment on this, especially on YouTube. It helps grow the channel, helps the algorithm, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time that I come on. All right, that'll do it for this week's Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you get your Christmas shopping done. Until next time, holla, y'all.